What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa. All right, calm down, relax. Yo, just chill. I know that y'all saw the title of this video and y'all are thinking, it's me that I'm talking about? Well, let me get into the story right here. You know, that you all need to understand when coming to foreign countries, especially men, that coming to different countries, even Africa, you have women who are just in the prostitution game. You have women who will sell themselves for money and who will exploit you. Now, though it is small numbers, and I'm not generalizing, but this is just the truth of the matter, that around the globe, sex is the top trillions of dollars that are made around this globe. Prostitution just happens to be one occupation for those who will utilize it in order to make a means, take care of themselves, family, or whatever it is that they find that it suits them. Now, let me hit you to some games, because you know, this ain't something that is new. This ain't something that just been started. This is something that, you know, goes in cycles. Now, for those who know me, you know, I'll be 55 years old next month. And, you know, I've seen the games back when I was growing up that, you know, men would try to play the game on a woman. You know, he'll try to get to her heart, tell her lies in her ears, you know, whisper those sweet notes so that, you know, tickle her fancy, you know, get her to laugh or whatever it is in order to get what he wants. But those days have changed, especially when it came around the mid to late 90s into the early 2000s. Women peeped to the game and they started to play the game. Well, you know, prostitution's been around since the beginning of ages anyway. And, you know, typically, you know, that woman who knew how to come on to a man, you know, she had the trick of the trade, you know, to bewilder or, you know, to fool a guy into believing a story that she may tell him. Now, being here in Africa, I just wanted to share the story of an associate of mine who found himself dating a prostitute and didn't know it. Yeah. Now, his story, you know, basically was, you know, he got into one of the countries here. I'm not going to mention countries and stuff like that. But wind up meeting a woman and dated for a couple of months and started to have some suspicions of her disappearance and started to have some suspicions of really who she was. A couple months now. And from what he told me was that he was told by a local, that she might be a prostitute, because there are certain surrounding countries that prostitutes travel from country to country and find those areas where they can make the most of their money from off a tourist or off of any foreigner who might be, you know, local or what have you. Now, y'all remember the game where, you know, you strategically place yourself in areas. You know, this happens in America. You know, y'all women know out there that you can attest to this. Y'all go get dressed up and you go to where you know where the money is, where the professionals are, or where there's an event and there's going to be high class people who got that dollar. So you fancy yourself up. You go out there and hopefully you throw your line out there and hopefully you can catch something. This is the game that goes on. I remember when I went to Dominican Republic and went there by myself. You know, one of my things I used to do about every quarter, you know, even in my marriage, you know, was to get away. I had to unwind. I had to go on a retreat. I had to gather my thoughts and get myself back together. Well, just particular one year I went down there and I was inundated by those guys out there trying to turn me on to where the women are, because, you know, they think that people come in and that's what they're looking for, even though there's a lot of men that go down there from America that are seeking to be with the women. This is the mindset that most think when foreigners are coming in, that's what they're looking for. So you being that single man coming into a country, don't think for 1 second when you're out in your hotel room and you decide to go down to the bar, or you decide to go down the street to a local bar, or to, some club, or, you eat at a restaurant and you're sitting there by yourself, and a sweet, beautiful, soft-spoken woman sits to the table next to you, looking all lonely, or sits next to you at the bar, or sits next to you, at a venue, and you think she just came to sit there, and you strike a conversation. Oh yeah, I've seen it done. Matter of fact, I've seen them come around me, because I travel a lot around by myself, who would strategically sit in my presence, whether it's at a cafe, whether it's at, it would be no other tables. Might be some other tables over there, but, you could sit in any place around in the whole cafe or in a restaurant, and you come sit right over here to the table right next to me. Interesting. But that sweet, soft-spoken woman, looking so grand and beautiful, waiting for you to open your mouth to ask her how she's doing. Or she comes sit at the bar, order her a drink. Probably barely got enough money to pay for it, but sits there and just waiting for you to strike that conversation. Or like we do, is to send her down a drink. See, the game is played. We men, we have so much testosterone, and we think we are the rulers of the world. But here it is that, we think that we are the ones who pull the women. Typically today, it's the woman who's gonna pull that man. Yet you gonna think that you selected her, when all the while she selected you. So this game is played where my friend, he finds out that the woman he's dating is living in another country, and she comes periodically back, and he fronted her on it, and come to find out that's what she do. That she goes back and forth, I guess takes what she can, gets the money and runs, take it back to her home country, and winds up taking care of herself. But some of these women play the poverty game. Matter of fact, you'll have conversation with them, and they'll talk about how down and out they are, very poor, don't have much. And then you thinking that you're going to help them come and clean your house, cook food for you, which there are those that do. Not all that I'm saying that do that are out to sell themselves, but are knowing that the possibility of you striking a relationship with them may be pretty high, because they've done this before. Look, you ain't the first one coming into this country who's looking for a person to clean your house, cook your food. Or you have lucked up and met a woman out here who you struck conversation with, who happens to be single, look pretty good, and yet is just down on her luck and looking for some work. And then you wind up bringing her in and cleaning your house and cooking your food and doing those things, and all of a sudden it becomes intimate. So now she's getting not only that, but then you're gonna strike a deal of maybe paying a little more to get, in those sheets. Well, these are games that are being played. There are women who portray to be professionals, working in the government, working in some of these jobs, that are prostitutes. Now you're going to ask the question, now how are they going to be a prostitute? How will they come up with asking you for the money to sleep with them? Well, here's the game. Many will tell you that, okay, they never done this before, and they just need money so they can help their family. Can you give them something? Of course, you're going to ask what? And then they're going to give you a price. And they say, well, if we meet, if you can give me this, and each time we meet, and then, you can really help me and my family out, and there's just no jobs here, and I've looked this and that, and then now they got your money. In other words, brothers, you have just been pimped. This is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa.